Hello my strangelings and welcome to tonight's video. Yes, I have a wand in my hair. And it's a replica of Nymphadora Tonks Lupin's wand. And I'm wearing red because since I'm doing werewolves today, it's a very special day. I'm wearing red because it's Remus's birthday today, March 10th, which is why I decided to do werewolves. And I found this information at New England World Encyclopedia. It took me 5 pages to write while I was at my parents' house. So let's get started. A werewolf, aka lycanthrope or wolfman, in folklore is described as a person who shapeshifts into a gray or wolf-like creature either purposely by magic or after being placed under a curse, often at times of a full moon. The phenomena for the werewolf lores can be traced all the way back to shape-shifting practices of shamans, who can transform into animals including wolves. The term werewolf is of German origin. In Low German, it is werewolf with a U, then becoming werewolf with an O, and modern German. The original forms of the word directly influenced by the Old English werewolf with a U and the Dutch werewolf, that's WEERWOLF. Then the term lycanthrope, the term lycanthropy, that means the ability of a human being undergoing the transformation into a wolf or to gain wolf-like characteristics. That is a combination of the Greek roots lukos, which means wolf, and anthropos, meaning man. The belief in lycanthropy goes back to early tribal society that was believed that shamans and witch doctors were to possess the ability to attune with nature to the point that they could transform into animals. These animals were usually quadrupedal predatory animals such as leopards, jackals, bears, coyotes, and wolves. The wolves in particular came to have significant relationship with mankind since humans domesticated the wolf into the household canines of today. But the earliest accounts of werewolves came from Eastern Europe and the Mediterranean area. Then the Greek myth of Lycaon that is told about his transformation into a wolf as a result of eating human flesh. That the Roman scholar Villains, I cannot say his name for the life of me. The elder quoting Eurythus claimed that a man of Enoch's family was selected by a lot and brought to a lake in Arcadia, where he hung his clothes on an ashtray and swam across, resulting in his transformation into a wolf, a form in which wandered for 9 years on the condition that he attacked no human being over the 9 years period. Then he would be able to swim back across the lake to resume human form. Now for the werewolf lore itself. The historical legend is described in a wide variety of methods for becoming a werewolf. The one of the simplest is the removal of clothes and putting on a belt made of wolf skin. This was probably as a substitute for the assumption of an entire animal skin. But in other cases, the body is rubbed with a magic slave. Another is to drink water out of the animal in question, or to drink from certain enchanted streams that were also considered to be effectual modes of accomplishing the metamorphosis. But in Russia, they said they had their own lore about werewolves by Alaus Magnus that said that the Levion's werewolves were initiated by draining a cup of special prepared beer and repeating a set of formula. Ralustin, in his song of the Russian people that gives the form of incarnation, are still familiar in Russia, but also in the Russian lore, a child born on December 24th shall be a werewolf. But the folklore and the literature also depict a werewolf being a spawn from two werewolf parents. The interesting distinction between them is often made between voluntary and involuntary werewolves, but the former are generally thought to have made a pact, usually with the devil, and morph into werewolves at night to indulge in mischievous acts. Now, the involuntary werewolves, on the other hand, were werewolves by an accident of birth or health, that in some cultures, when individuals were born during a new moon or suffering from epilepsy, I don't know where that part is from. I didn't have a chance to look it up, but anyways, were considered likely to be werewolves. But for the medieval chronicler, Gervase of Tilbury, associated the transformation with the appearance of the full moon. But this concept was really associated with the werewolves until the idea was picked up by fiction. But the werewolves have been described to have several weaknesses, such as wolfbane, religious artifacts such as the crucifix and holy water, and the curse, and of course silver, as it was said to believe that a werewolf in human form will not transform when wearing a silver amulet. The repressive effect would be increased if the amulet were to be filled with wolfsbane. But there are various methods that exist to remove the werewolf form. One, which is the simplest method, is the act of the enchanter, meaning the operating either on oneself or on a victim, and the other is to remove the animal belt or skin. The other is to kneel in one spot for 100 years to be reapproached with being a werewolf, to be saluted with the sign of the cross, or addressed thrice by baptismal name, or to have at least 3 drops of blood drawn, has been mentioned as a possible cure. Now, to become a werewolf is by simply being bitten by another werewolf, as that is common in modern fiction, but it is rare in the legend, where werewolf attacks are seldom left their victims alive long enough to transform. So that's all the information that I found for werewolves. So I'll see you guys in tomorrow night's video. Good night for now, my strangelings.